All right, Shalom. I want to start off by giving all glory, praises, and honor to Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem, Rachak Wadash, Shan Yukabad, Gadwali Rekwab, Kwanyam Nawa. That's double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Shalom, Wabarakim, Labakarim, Shayasharala. And that's peace and blessing to the elect of Israel, and also to the confusion of faces that look like the other nations. But no matter how you look, if you believe in the names and have faith in Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, then to you brothers as well, I want to say Shalom, Wabarakim, peace and blessings. So I have Isaiah the 14th chapter up here. I'm going to read the first two verses because, all the nations eventually will be in subjection. And subjection literally means under rule. They'll be under rule to the Israelites, starting with Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai at the top, King David, and the 144,000 men, and the rest of the elect. And with that being said, the Lord is raising up 144,000 spirits right now, 144,000 men out of the nation of Israel to be the next rulers, as it is written in 2nd Esdras, the 6th chapter. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning that followeth. And we know through the Spirit, when it says world right there, it's talking about an eon, an age. Because right now you have kingdoms all throughout history that have ruled for a world, if you will. They've all ruled for an age, an eon, a period of time. And right now, you have the Edomites ruling. Who are the Edomites? Well, the book of Job, the 9th chapter, the 24th verse tells you that the world is given into the hands of the wicked. And who are the wicked? The Edomites. The Edomites are the so-called white people, right? And again, let's not get it twisted. You're going to have some so-called white people that are actually Israelites. If they believe and have faith in the truth of these scriptures and Yahweh and Yahweh Shai, then that means that inevitably, no matter how they look, the seed, right? The seed that's in them, their bloodline, their spirit goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Now, with that being said, we know the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the people that are actually ruling, the elites, if you will, the so-called, they go by Illuminati, obviously, but then you also have the banking families. They're all Edomites. They actually are Edomites. They go back to the seed of a man named Esau, right? In the ancient Hebrew, that's Ishashua, wasted away is he. What was wasted away? His pigment. That's the mark that the Lord put on them so that we know who they are. So right now, we're in their kingdom. We're in their rulership. We're in their heaven right now. We're in the heaven of these Edomites. And soon, very, very soon, the Lord is going to put them under subjection to him, first of all, and then to us as well. The hopeful elect. That's why we say that. But let's see how they're going to enter into the kingdom. Because we entered into their kingdom building up America, right? Babylon the Great. We built it up for them. They put us in captivity, right? So how are they going to be, in our kingdom? What's going to happen? Isaiah 14 verse 1. Because they're all going to eventually be in the kingdom of heaven. If the Lord is raising up 144,000 men to rule the next world, and we're going to govern, and the laws will flow out of Zion, we're going to get that, Lord willing, then that means ultimately the whole entire land will be ruled in righteousness. So even these other nations like the Hamites, the Ishmaelites, the Moabites, they're all going to be in heaven, but they're going to enter in shackles. They're going to enter in building the kingdom of Israel. They're going to be in captivity. Isaiah 14 verse 1. For the Lord, and that's all caps, so we know it's Yahweh. Yah meaning he, Hawah means exists or is. So Yahweh. But I'm going to read verbatim, Isaiah 14 verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. And this is another prophecy that lets us know we are the true Israelites. We have faith in that because those so-called Jews over there right now, first of all, they only go by Jews. They don't even know where the rest of the nations are. The nation of Israel, that is. Or tribes, let me say that, to lock it. They don't even know where the other tribes are. Secondly, the land is divided. They're not over there by themselves right now. And the Balfour Declaration wasn't prophetic. It wasn't prophecy. That isn't talked about anywhere of the true Israelites going back into the land because of some letter written. No, the Lord said he will choose us and he will put us back in our own land, back in Israel. So I'm going to read it again and just read straight through. It says, "For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. And the people shall take them, and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors." And we're being oppressed right now. We're being pushed down right now. We're at the very bottom of the society. We're at the very bottom of this economy. We have the worst jobs. We live in the worst neighborhoods. We have the worst houses. You got 5, 6, 7 household families living in apartments, living in townhouses, things like that. We have the worst education. We eat the worst foods. We're at the bottom. We're being oppressed right now. Who's oppressing us? These Edomites. Really, all the other nations, according to the book of Psalm, the 83rd chapter, they're all confederate. They're all joined, to one. They're all against us at the end of the day. But who's at the top? The Edomites. They're going to get it the worst. But all these other nations had us in captivity. They've all ruled over us. They've all oppressed us. And they're all, according to Isaiah, the 14th chapter, the 2nd verse, they're all going to go into captivity. And the Lord said he's going to put us in our own land and put them in subjection under us. All right, so that's how they're entering into the kingdom of heaven. They're going to build it for us. They're going to build the nation of Israel, just like how we built America, hardcore slavery. And that leads me into this next verse, Deuteronomy chapter. Matter of fact, what I want to do is I'm going to start at verse 1, Deuteronomy 30, verse 1. I'm going to read through verse 3, and then I'm going to jump down to verse 7. It says, Deuteronomy 30, verse 1. "And it shall come to pass, when all these things are come upon thee, the blessing and the curse," because Deuteronomy 2 chapters before, previous, chapter 28, talks about all the cursings, all the curses, Salakia, all the curses that shall come upon us for disobeying, the Lord our power, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And it did happen upon us. And that's another reason why we know that we're the true Israelites. We have faith in that. So the blessing came upon us and the curse came upon us, right? "Which I have set before thee, and thou shalt call them to mind among all the nations, whither the Lord thy power hath driven thee." Due to captivity, the Lord has driven us across the 4 winds. We're all spread out. We're dispersed amongst the heathens. All right? We're dispersed amongst the heathens. And with that being said, the Lord said we're going to call all of that to mind. And we are right now through the Holy Spirit, the Comforter, the Spirit of truth. And that's what is talked about in Ezekiel, the 37th chapter, those dry bones, now coming to life. We have the Lord's breath upon us now, and we're coming back to what? Our true nationality. We know who we are. With faith, we're keeping the laws to the best of our capabilities. We just celebrated, more so kept the memorial, the solemn assembly of the Passover. We're still currently right now doing the 7 days of Feast of Unleavened Bread. So that's us coming back and calling to mind, our nationality. Those are those dry bones waking up right now. And it truly is a great awakening that's happening. It says, "Whether the Lord thy power hath driven thee," verse 2, "and shall return into the Lord thy power, and shalt obey." The word obey means to listen, literally means to listen. "And shalt obey his voice according to all that I command thee this day, thou and thy children with all thine heart and with all thy soul, that then the Lord thy power will turn thy captivity," meaning he'll take us out of captivity, "and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all the nations whither the Lord thy power hath scattered thee." Now we're going to jump down to verse 7. Deuteronomy 30, verse 7. "And the Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee." And we are being persecuted right now. Every day we can step outside and get shot. We have that fear upon us. Every time we're driving, when you see a cop behind you in your rearview mirror, oh man, you immediately slow down. You start thinking about things like, do I got any tickets? I got my ID on me, things like that. These other nations don't think about that. a cop rolls behind the Edomite, he's in cahoots with him. He's fine, you know. He knows everything will be fine. Even if he gets pulled over, he's not worried about getting shot. But we're getting shot in the streets every day by these Edomites. And they're getting off the hook. And it's cool, you know. They're getting off the hook. Well, you know what? The Lord put judgment on a wicked Israelite, on a 2/3. And then at the end of the day, we know that Edomite is going to get off. Why? Because this is his heaven. He's supposed to get off. We're not mad. We understand. The Lord is putting his spirit on us to understand, the spirit of truth. They're supposed to get off. It's their heaven. So we're not mad. But at the end of the day, you know, brothers, be smart out there. Obviously, if you do get pulled over, now that I mentioned it, you know, just, hey, officer, give him your license, whatever he needs, answer his questions. If you were doing something wrong, if you were speeding, you know, take your ticket, keep moving. You know, be spiritual at the end of the day. Don't do anything stupid. We're building right now the Tabernacle of David. You know, we want to be a part of that. Lord willing, we are. So, you know, with that being said, we're almost out of here. Be smart and be wise. You know, but going back to the topic at hand, that's a part of us being persecuted. You know, we're subject to payments. We got to pay tax, federal taxes and state taxes. Then you got county taxes. Then you're paying tax on your land. You know, you buy a car and you pay a vehicle registration fee, and then 2 years later you got to pay another registration fee even though you have the same car. I mean, come on. We're being persecuted all the time. But it's okay. It's okay. You know, we're not mad anymore. We understand. And we're coming into the times now where all the curses are starting to fall upon the Edomites. You know, they're getting plagued just like us. You know, the Lord is putting out the flu. The whole world is now dying off from the flu. You know, last year or maybe early this year, I'm not sure, but I think it was around like Christmas time. You know, you had the massive wildfires happening that was messing up homes over there in California. And then what? As soon as it ended, a few days later, you had that, you know, that rainstorm. And then from the rainstorm, you had a mudslide, things like that. Matter of fact, let's just speak on the shootings that are happening right now. It's already been like about 20 shootings so far. It's already been about 20 school shootings, that is, so far. So, you know, these Edomites are feeling it just like we are at the end of the day. So, you know, brothers, have a joyful spirit. We're almost out of here. You know, it sucks right now. We're getting tired of working. We're tired of waking up in the morning, putting on the same daggone clothes, taking the same route, doing the same thing over and over and over again. You know, we want the land of milk and honey. We want these people to be in subjection to us. You know, we want captives. We want to take captives whose captives we were. You know, but again, these curses are starting to fall upon the wicked, and it's going to really fall upon them. You know, as soon as the Lord puts them in the shackles and we bring them into, matter of fact, let me get, if this loads, it may or may not load. You know, Salaki, if it doesn't, I'm in the car right now, in the parking lot. And with that being said, I don't have the best service. Okay, all right. You know, matter of fact, I wanted to get, you know, I'll read this too, but this isn't what I wanted to get. I'll read it anyway, though. Psalms 137, we'll start at verse 7. Remember, O Lord, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof, O daughter of Babylon, because they wanted they wanted Jerusalem to fall. Raise it. That's what that means. O daughter of Babylon, who are to be destroyed. So the Lord right now is linking Edom and the daughter of Babylon, which is America. And who's ruling America? Edom. America, Edom, Esau, the so-called white man. Verse 8 says, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. I'm going to read that again. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. And that's what they did to us. You know, they cut out our woman's stomach. You know, they would wait. Matter of fact, they're wicked. They would wait until the woman was actually like 8 or 9 months. When they knew the baby was formed, about to come out, and then they just split the woman's womb. They take the baby, slam it upon rocks and stones. They stomp on the baby's head. You know, kill him like that, or throw him in the pond. You know, we're gonna do all these things to them too. but we're going to do it in righteousness, man, because the Lord said so. The Lord said so. That's the only reason why these Edomites are raised up in the first place. Just like how the Lord raised up Pharaoh and, hardened his heart, it says in the book of Exodus. It's the same way. Paul said that in the book of Romans, the 9th chapter. It's the same reason, rather, I should say, that the Lord raised up these Edomites, really just to put us into subjection. The Lord looks at us as sons. And how do you spank your son? With the rod, man. And the Lord put the rod on us. What is that? That was captivity. The Lord put the rod on the whole nation. He judges nations. And he used Salakia. And he used the nation of Esau to do it. That's the whole reason why Esau was born. To teach us a lesson. And now we're going to do to him what he did to us. Matter of fact, that wasn't what I wanted, though. Let me see. Maybe one. Okay. Let me see if this is it. Yeah, this is it. This is it. Through the Spirit, this will be the last verse right here. This is Psalms chapter 149, verse 6. It says, Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth and a two-edged sword in their hand. Why? Because we're about to execute vengeance, judgments. It's going to say it, obviously, that's the next verse. But at the end of the day, we're praising the Lord right now. The praise of the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, is what we're doing right now. We say, Barakatah Yahweh, bless you, Yahweh. Barakatah Yahweh Shai. Bless you, Yahweh Shai. Tawada for giving us back this truth, this knowledge, But the Lord is going to put that's going to be a literal two-edged sword in our hands. Why? Verse 7. To execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. And we're going to literally do that. We're going to put shackles around their necks, around their hands, around their feet. And they're going to march their way in to the kingdom of heaven, and they're going to build the nation of Israel. And after a period of 1,000 years, the other nations, well, let me first say, after a period of 1,000 years of captivity under the Israelites, then you Edomites are going to be put in a pit and you're going to be burnt. And you're never, ever, ever going to dwell on this earth again. You're going to be ruined, completely abolished, exterminated, right? And then after 1,000 years, also the other nations, the Ishmaelites, the Hamites, right? The Moabites are all going to go to their own land and they're going to be in peace. They're going to have their own rulers, but even their rulers will be in subjection to the Israelites. The laws will flow out of the nation of Israel, starting with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai at the top. And then King David, 12 apostles, 144,000 men, and the rest of the nation of Israel under them. Now verse 9, Psalm 149, verse 9. I'll read verse 8 again. It says, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written. This honor have all his saints. And then it ends with, praise ye the Lord, praise ye Yahweh. I'm going to read that last verse again. It says, to execute upon them the judgment written. So it's written that they're going to be in captivity to us. That's how they're coming into the kingdom of heaven. They're going to come in with shackles and fetters of iron, around their neck, around their feet. They're going to come into captivity. So what's the moral of the story? Our heaven is going to be their hell. That's what it's coming down to. It's a condition played out on earth. And the condition of hell for them, it's not going to be, matter of fact, Elder Yashawama just made a video about it. They're not going to a place, hell isn't going to be a place where you burn forever, never, never, never. No. Hell for these Edomites and for these other nations, the heathen, are going to be our heaven. Hell for them is going to be captivity, subjection under us. So, I pray, and again it says, to execute upon them the judgment written. That's the judgment written. All right? So I pray that was edifying. I want to give all glory, praise, and honor to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai Ba'ashem Rakha Kodash, and Tawada Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai for allowing me to do this video, putting the spirit on me, to make this topic as we head into these evil times and famine of the word, pestilence and plagues and all matter of, wickedness. Well, not even say wickedness. I'll just end it by saying evil. Evil meaning a bad time, We want to go harder in the truth, harder in the spirit. The closer and closer that we get, we should be zealous, hot, on fire for this word. So Shanya Kabad, Gadawala Rukwab, Zaquanyam Nawa. That's double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and Shalawam Babarakim Labakaram Shayasharala. And that's peace and blessing to the elect of Israel. Shalawam.